Which, by the way, women, it is way worse for us. Okay, just accept it.
It's
Anyway,
the real fucking deal.
welcome back. So
It's called man food for a reason because
Right.
women can't handle it.
exactly.
It's not called woman
That's
food.
exactly why it's
Yeah.
called the man food.
So,
All right, let's get this shit started. So these dreamers, I don't really care if you were an anchor baby or you were brought here when you were young. I saw a statistic that showed that over 700,000 of them are over the age of 25. That's a blatant disregard for you even wanting to become a citizen. I understand it might not be the easiest thing to obtain, but why haven't you at least attempted to try? And honestly, there needs to be a lot more checks and balances with just, you know what, they're dreamers. Let's just give it to them. Give them citizenship. Who gives a shit? I'd say if there's the 2 felony max, you have 2 felonies, you're gone. The people that have served our country, if they are illegal immigrants, then they should be granted citizenship just on
Right.
that part alone, because
exactly.
they're the ones fighting for the freedoms that we enjoy every day.
To do this.
Yeah, I mean, so I think looking back at it, there needs to be a lot more checks and balances here, because just to open up and say, you know what, all the dreamers, just come on in, you're good, you're free. No. You need to earn it. You need to respect our flag. You need to respect our country and our values. Theodore Roosevelt said it very good. And if you go back and look at his stance on immigration, I'm right there with him. And it's funny that it's not just him.
Right.
Other presidents
Right.
in the past have said, "Hey, listen, we're going to tighten up immigration." Clinton did it. Obama did it, and now Trump's doing it. He's not talking about it.
Physically
He's
doing
it, which is awesome. California's back in the fucking news. Snowflakes, the Democrats, they can't get their votes up, so what they're doing is they're paving the way to let illegals vote.
Putting them right in there.
Yeah.
You need numbers, and to get numbers, you have to accommodate to a certain,
I guess the main thing is this: it's a right as a citizen of the United States to vote.
Right. Correct.
They're not legal citizens, so they should have no say in who we want to put in office. Because if you look at it this way, if you open the door and say, you know what, all these people can vote, it diminishes that office, whether it be a congressman, a senator, a governor, a president. It diminishes that office because now it's not the people of the United States voting. It's just any fucking floozy that wants to.
Right. You're probably going to be, able to go online and do it from all
Right.
over the country. But California wants to do their own thing, They really should just be their own thing, and there's 49 states.
I would agree with that. I'd be all for it.
Welcome.
So we've kind of talked about the whole gender. I don't know what I am. I'm a toaster oven.
Yeah, right.
I'm a man. I'm a woman. I'm an alien.
Confused. I'm confused.
Confused
Right.
would be the understatement of the year. So there's a person in Palatine who originally went to the school board and said, I'm being discriminated against because I don't have my own locker room to change it. So the school district looked at it and said, you know what, you're right. We'll go ahead and accommodate you. Now she's suing the school district because she feels segregated. I'm sorry, it feels segregated.
It.
Listen, if you have a penis, you're a man. Vagina, you're a woman. There are 2 sexes. You can't sit there and say, I identify as a toaster oven, or Kermit the Frog, or a Bud Light. You can't. When you look at, like for me, for example, I don't have any kids. If I had a daughter and some fucking jag-off with a cock walks into the locker room because he wants to change in there because he thinks he's a woman, I'm going to have a fucking hard time with that.
Yeah, I've said it before, and I'll stand next to it all day long. Male, female, there's no in between, there's no I don't know, there's no lampshade. It's one or the other. And I'm in the same boat. The dude walks in the locker room, I happen to see it, and I know that my daughter's in there, and he's going to whip his little thing out. I'm going to shoot the fucking thing off. Okay, there is no, I don't don't care. We need to stop being pussies and putting up with this shit. Man, woman, period. Done. You want to be gay? That's fine. You want to do homosexual things? That's fine. But for you to wake up one day and be confused and decide you don't want to be what gender you came out of the womb as, there's a fucking issue. Because if you don't accept you, why the fuck should I accept you?
And I've said that before. And it's the thing is, if you can't accept who you are yourself, how do you expect anybody else to accept you for you? And that's just it. It's you know, I look at it like, where are these parents? You know, like, what went wrong? Something along that child's life went like haywire. And you know, there's a lot of this talk about mental illness and everything else. Just saying, we should look at that.
Yeah, 100%.
You know.
You always get that fear as a parent, you know, is my son going to be gay? And that's fine if that ever happened in my situation, but, dude, I don't know how I can handle.
Well, I think it's just, you know, parenting it, you know, in general. You know, I saw a news clip the other day, and the lady was like, "Oh, your son looks so cute in that," and the mom straight up says, "It doesn't know what it is yet."
Oh my god. I'm just going to start playing.
I about shit myself, because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, he's clearly a boy. This is clearly a boy. Like, clear as day. Like,
I'm just going to start playing porn from day one as soon as I know my wife's pregnant, and just put little headphones.
right,
Porn,
exactly.
porn.
Maybe that'll help. Quick shout out to the law enforcement and first responders in Kentucky for stopping that school shooting as fast as they did. There were some casualties, two dead, 17 wounded, but they minimized the damage that was done. There's not a whole lot about that story, so we're going to talk about that in the coming weeks, but just wanted to say thank you to those guys. Very good job.
For sure. We're ready for the liberal snowflakeism on gun control.
Yes. Gun control, just so anybody's wondering, it's using 2 hands.
So, I got a question. Like, if you were, I don't know, on your GPS, you get lost, and you end up, like, the west side of Chicago, what would you describe that to someone as?
Like if I was talking to the OnStar person?
Sure.
I think the first, you know, I'd look around and assess my situation, and then I would just simply say, listen, I'm in the middle of a shithole, how do I get home?
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. You know, people, they look at Donald Trump, and they see, well, he's the president. And all the presidents, you know, before him, Reagan, not so much, but they were all career politicians.
Right.
Trump's not. Trump is the type of guy who, he thinks it, he speaks it. Is it getting him in trouble? Absolutely. It's not even confirmed that those are the actual words that he used.
Exactly.
But let's call it how it is. Haiti is a shithole. So is the west side of Chicago. You know, looking back at Obama's great 8 years in office, he's responsible for modern day slavery in some African countries or provinces or whatever. And he even says it himself that was the worst decision during his presidency, is not having a contingency plan after they got Gaddafi out of there. And no offense, but listen, he calls it how it is. It's a shithole. It's a shithole. It doesn't matter if it's the west side of Chicago or Haiti.
Right.
A shithole's a shithole.
Right. You see videos in these countries where there's more garbage in the streets and in the rivers than I've ever seen in my life. You got these countries that treat women like they're under the house cat that runs around. Like, those are shithole countries. So why not call it what it is? Not try and cover it and well, you know, they kind of need some work. No, it's a shithole. And it's not our problem.
Well, no, and that's the thing. I've had people ask me, you know, well, the kids that were born there, because you see those infomercials.
Right.
And it's kind of funny, because all those infomercials, whether it's about the dogs or some Ethiopian country or somewhere else, they always need $19 a month. I don't know where that number came from, but every single one of them. So it's kind of a scam there. But anyway, I've always been asked, you know, well, the kids didn't, you know, choose to be born there.
Right.
You're right, they didn't. But guess what? It's not my fucking problem. We got bigger fucking fish to fry here in the United States, and that's what we should focus on.
Yeah, we got the same kids that you see in these videos running around in, what do they call it, tent city out there in fucking California. I mean, what's the difference? Why is everybody so butthurt about that, but we have the same shithole things in our country and nobody's fucking doing anything about it?
Right. So one of the major hot topics.
Yeah, this week's been all about it.
You know, easiest way I can put this is when people have temper tantrums and then that temper tantrum stops the U.S. military from being paid, I have a problem with that. Especially when Congress still gets paid even though the government shuts down. That is a load of bullshit, and it needs to stop immediately. There is absolutely zero reason why our military, our men and women serving overseas and at home, should stop being paid just because Congress wants to cry like little whiny bitches because Trump won't, give into their Dreamers fucking program. Okay, what the fuck does Dreamers program have to do with our budget? And it wasn't even a full-term budget. It was just a month to get us ahead, to give us more time to talk about it. And here they are trying to handcuff the fucking United States. Like, hey, we care more about the illegal immigrants than our own citizens, our own military. There's a huge problem with that.
Yeah, it's total bullshit. The whole budget bill bullshit. We're gonna hold it up over fucking DACA and Dreamers and the illegal immigrants thing is horseshit. When your country starts taking the backs of those that don't belong here over yours, you're gonna stir up more shit than Donald Trump ever could stir up. And people need to start fucking realizing that. And I've seen it over and over again online. I've seen people talk about it. The next couple times, because this is going to happen. It's happened in 2013. It's going to happen again. People are going to start taking advantage of the fact that the government shut down and taking matters into their own fucking hands.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? When the government does shut down, it's all non-essential personnel. But at the same time, it shouldn't even get to that fucking point.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? Why can't we just come to an agreement? Okay, we need X, Y, Z. This is how we're going to pay for X, Y, Z. Done. Dreamers, handle it your fucking self. Okay.
California should handle
well,
that
California
stuff.
should you know what, Dreamers, head out to California. That's your new home, and they'll take really good care of you. Okay, you can't do shit, but they'll take really good care of you there.
Yeah, 600,000 Dreamers on welfare. All the other piece of shit people in this country that are abusing our welfare system. There's part of your budget problem. Don't fucking worry about Trump's golf trips. Obama did the same fucking shit and still is. Actually, Obama ended up like $50 million richer after his presidency.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and it's funny because like you talk about the people that take advantage of the system and stuff. I was having a conversation with somebody and I asked her, how would you fix this? And she said 4 years. That's what you get. You need help, you need welfare, you get 4 years. Because you know what you can do in 4 years? You can learn a trade.
Yeah.
You can go back to school. You can figure it out. But as soon as those 4 years are up, it doesn't matter. You can use a year here, 2 years there, another year here, but 4 years maximum in your lifetime. I think that's a great idea because in that way you take away from all the people that are just continuously mooching off the system. And then you get these kids that grow up learning, oh, I could just get the government to pay for it. Oh, I don't buy groceries. I'll let the link card take care of it. Which is a huge problem with our entire, not just locally in our state budget, but nationally.
Right. Yeah, that's a killer idea. I actually really like that. You have 4 years to complete high school. You have most 4-year college degrees. I mean, why not fucking do that?
Or a trade. I mean, you learn a trade in mostly 4 years, 4 or 5 years, but even then.
Trade in 6 months.
But that's the thing, is like with even trades, a lot of times in school, and this is the problem with schools today too, is schools don't teach home economics anymore. They don't even have like wood shop classes. These are all trades that people are needed.
Right, auto class, all
and that's the thing is, I saw it was an online thing, and the student, who was a college kid, he's like, honestly, I didn't even realize that plumbers made X amount of money. I didn't even know roofers made X amount of money. So the school system is basically kind of curbing you, like, hey, you gotta go to school, gotta go to college, when really college isn't always the answer.
No, not at all.
So, thank you to everybody who took time out of their day to view our last video. Over 2,000 views. It was very huge. We were very humbled by it. Again, likes, comments, shares, dislikes. We always like the snowflakes come out of the woodwork. Other than that, you guys stay classy. Have a wonderful Wednesday or Thursday, whenever this video is going to come out. I don't know. But hey, stay classy.